If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and we're so excited to have Kathleen Courtney on the line with us today from Los Angeles, California. Kathleen has been in the film industry for 30 years or so and worked on such amazing movies as The Natural, Law-Abiding Citizen, Daredevil, Meet Dave, and et cetera, et cetera. If I read her bio, Mike, we'd just take up the whole 23 minutes just reading her amazing bio. Welcome to Green is Good, Kathleen Courtney.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me here.
Well, Kathleen, you're, besides having a very big movie career on all sorts of the side of the production world that you're on, you also are involved with many other sustainability things in Hollywood, such as PGA Green, the Producers Guild, Green website and Green initiatives, and also Green Production Guide. So we're going to talk about all these things and all the sustainability things you're doing today in Hollywood.
Great.
So tell us a little bit about the Producers Guild of America's Green Committee. When, how, why did it get started, and how did you get involved?
Well, I've been in the Producers Guild for over 10 years, and I'm privileged to be on the board of directors. And so what ended up happening is we found that there was a need within our community of the Producers Guild, as well as the entire film industry, or entertainment industry, I should say, they wanted a direct response to the rising environmental concerns that we found. And so what happened is it was kind of twofold. It was coast to coast. So on the East Coast, Al Gore spoke at a Live Earth concert, and he put out the word for individual industry reps to set up task force to reduce their carbon emissions. And the people on the East Coast that have become the chair members of PGA Green got involved with that initially. On my end, I teamed up with Fred Barron, who also was on the board of directors and was part of a dinner that we had with 10 different production executives. And in that dinner, we discussed how can we all join hands and address these issues that clearly are not only timely but incredibly important. And what can we do to, put aside all the differences of we each want to make our big box office bonanzas and really come together. And so Fred and I brought that back to the PGA's board of directors. They wholeheartedly welcomed it. And so we set up PGA Green National. And so we have the East Coast represented by Mary Jo Winkler, Lydia Dean Pilcher, and Katie Carpenter. And on the West Coast, myself, Fred Barron, and Amanda Scarano Carter. And so we have a large membership of the Producers Guild members have joined this volunteer committee and are all committed to move forward.
And you're the chair of PGA Green Committee West.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so now let's talk about this then. The PGA Green Committee, as I've read, offers information on greening productions to the film, TV, and new media communications at large. Explain what that really means with regards to the entertainment industry, and where do you see that all going?
Well, what we've decided to do is actually break out of PGA Green Committee and call it the PGA Green Initiative, which is a bigger picture than just the Guild. We're reaching out to those communities that you mentioned, film, TV, new media at large, and what we're trying to do is come up with the solutions and the questions, the problems, and hopefully the solutions, or at least the process toward the solution. So we're keeping up with the latest technology as best we can, and then sharing this information in the broadest sense, bringing together volunteers that are committed to making a difference, and really the sky's the limit on where we're going. If you think about the role of the producer, our job is communicating our message effectively, and hopefully our role is visionary. And so we want to bring this. We want to lead this industry into really what is well overdue, and hopefully make it easier for everyone along the way, and hopefully more fulfilling and possibly entertaining. Why not?
So if you've just joined us now, we've got Kathleen Courtney on, who is the chair of PGA Green Committee West, but there's a bigger initiative, a national initiative that we're talking about today. And if you want to see her great website, you can look it up at www.pgagreen.org. Kathleen, give us some examples. Give our listeners some examples of the greening of Hollywood. What does it mean to move a legacy industry towards more sustainable productions? What does that mean, and what are some of the low-hanging fruit that you're going after first?
Well, it is typically the film industry at large has been, I would say, wasteful throughout the years. If you think about what we do, we set it up, we shoot it, we take it down. So at the end of productions, you may have 3 stages worth of sets that are broken down, put in dumpsters, and put in landfills. That's stopping. And that is something that I'm happy to say is on the mend quickly. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but right now what we're doing with the PGA Green initiative is we've formed various groups, sub-communities within our committee itself, and formed something called Green Outreach, or GO, as we call it. And the GO volunteers, or members of the PGA Green Committee, will contact productions as early in prep as possible, introducing them to the tools that are available, and making sure that we follow up with them at the end, find out where their troubles were, what successes they found, and encouraging them to get the word out on anything that they've found in their particular communities. Remember, the film community or productions community is not just Los Angeles anymore. It's not only nationwide, but clearly it's worldwide. So we have a lot of information out there that we need to share and solve. And so what we're doing specifically is going for seminars and conferences. We are throwing things on seminars on both ends of the country right now, and hopefully we'll get into the smaller communities as well, talking about recycling and lighting, alternative fuels, and how to save money while greening, all the things that are foremost on everyone's mind, but basically discussing various ways to reduce our environmental impact. And then we're also going for, in the effort to spread the word, volunteer work. We've joined up with Habitat for Humanity of Greater Los Angeles and participate in their first LEED certified build in the city of Linwood here, and raising funds for them through auctions. And there's even an auction that's available right now for a walk-on Curb Your Enthusiasm. You could be an extra for a day on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and you can go to pjgreen.org and find out more about that. But these are all ways that we're trying to help the community as well as our industry. And also a couple of the other quick things we're doing are we're setting up panels for schools. We've already done one for NYU and Columbia, and we're planning one for University of North Carolina, as well as schools here on the West Coast. And John, we want to host an electronic recycling event. And we want to team with internationalelectronicrecyclers.com to stage events in shooting communities, which I'm sure we'll be talking about in the near future.
Absolutely.
But we really want to spread the wings out even beyond the entertainment industry, because we do have that power to reach out, and that's specifically our job.
Well, that's fascinating. Well, let's go back to that. You have an amazing arsenal, both of what you got, what your industry leaders can do with regards to on their own sets and in their own studios, etc. But what you also just mentioned, Kathleen, is the messaging. And so let's talk a little bit about your green arsenal. You've had already tremendous success as an industry in terms of messaging with a great movie like Inconvenient Truth, and also when Dean Devlin made Who Killed the Electric Car, and many others. How is the messaging going to continue to get greener, and how are you influencing that with your other committee members?
Well, first of all, you brought up the most important thing, and that's the volunteers. We have passionate PGA members and associates that are supporting all of our endeavors. So that's the number one thing we have in the arsenal, is that people really care, and they are ready and willing and more than able to get out there and, make it happen. And so one of the first things we did was create the site that you referred to, pgagreen.org, so that it is a place that anyone in the entertainment industry can go and find a plethora of different valuable tools on there, including a link to a vendor guide called greenproductionguide.com, and you could reach it through pgagreen.org. And this is the very first one-of-a-kind interactive international green vendor guide. It also includes a carbon calculator, and also we're soon to be releasing a PGA Green Unified Best Practices, which is geared toward the indies. Each of the studios have their best practices that they give out to their productions, but there's a lot of independent productions out there that don't have the machine behind them that the studios provide. So we're trying to fill in that gap. And again, back to spreading the word, we've set up a Facebook page which is so active and really encouraging. People going on just asking advice from fellow members out there, and it's open to everyone. So we've had questions like, we can't get the people on our set to stop using plastic bottles. What have you found that works? And then we'll have 10 people answer back on what their different strategies have been. It's really an incredibly useful tool. We have Twitter, of course. I think everybody has to these days. And then, again, back to as far as one of the most effective things are the seminars, and two of the most effective things, seminars and the screenings. You brought up films. We're setting up a PGA Green screening series. The first one is going to be on the 19th and here in Los Angeles, and there'll be information on it on pgagreen.org. It's open to everyone, and we're trying to screen either green content movies or films that have been known to be very green-minded. This first one is hopefully going to be Bag It, and we're having a Q&A afterward if this all works well. It's still in the final throes of planning. And also on the 13th here in L.A., we're having a really cool seminar at Sony called Saving Green by Being Green. Quite frankly, it really is all about the bottom line, and we could talk all we want about recycling and repurposing, but if it's going to cost more money, you're not going to get the kind of enthusiastic response that you need. So we're trying to show you not only does it not cost more money, but you could effectively save money by going green in so many different ways. And I think that those are our most effective tools.
Well, Kathleen, it really is amazing because you mentioned the movie Just Bag It, and John and I had the pleasure of talking to Suzanne, the producer, just a few weeks back, and also her partner who, just by happy accident, ended up being the star of the movie and taking a humorous, quizzical, but very serious everyman's look at the proliferation of single-use plastic trash bags. You had mentioned on the Green Production Guide site of your website, just talking about would-be independent filmmakers need to know that this tool exists, and you're talking about the triple bottom line about it really does make sense, and you save money and make more money when you go green. But the people that seem to really get this in providing you the seed funding and the support, I mean, listen to this, John. There's Disney, there's Fox, NBC Universal, Sony Pictures Entertainment, and Warner Brothers all providing the seed money for this Green Production Guide.
Wow, that is just
Yes,
amazing.
it was pretty outstanding. What happened is they all got together trying to develop this tool and realized that they really wanted a third party to develop it for them. So they came to the Producers Guild and PGA Green and did provide us with seed money to develop this incredible website. And not only is it an interactive green vendor guide, but the vendors are being vetted so that we're preventing the greenwashing. It's free to everyone. So if you are right now listening to us in anywhere USA, or for that matter the world, and you found a vendor that's been not only cooperative, but somebody that you think everyone should know about that's helping with this cause, either go to the website and say suggest a vendor, or tell your vendor to go and say apply. Everything is free, and it's only as good as the help we have in building the database. Right now we have about 1,600 vendors, but we need clearly a lot more in order to be the most effective in that. But yeah, it's really cool that the studios have just jumped on board, and they've actually hired environmental executives that are there to help oversee the productions and guide them. But like you say, the indies do need help as well, and so it's our job, we look at it as our job, to get the word out, which is where Green Outreach comes in, and really focusing on those indies and making sure that they all know that these things are there, and we're making them as user-friendly as possible. So it's really simple to go in, I'm starting an office, what do I do? Click, and there you are, and you have a step-by-step help, a board that can help you with everything, hopefully everything that comes up. And if it's missing, let us know on Facebook. We'll fix it.
Your organization makes it easy and accessible for everyone to become part of the solution.
Exactly. That's the plan. We can't, it's teaching them to fish.
We know the green movement's phrase, reuse, recycle, repurpose. And that's, so much of what we're all doing as part of the whole sustainability movement and the whole green revolution. But tell us a little bit about where TV shows, movies, and other production companies repurpose their items from their shoots, like furniture and wardrobe. And I know we both have a common friend who's been on the show already, Eva Radke from Biz Recycling. Talk about what she's doing and what others like her are doing in your industry through your organization.
Well, Eva is remarkable. I mean, I don't know how this one woman got the energy to create such an incredibly useful company. Eva Radke is setting the bar for all of us. And Biz Recycling is located in New York.
Right.
Out here, we have various places like Habitat for Humanity has 2 gigantic stores. They call them Restores that you can find on habitatla.org. There's companies like It's a Wrap, Hollywood, and there's local farms that pick up leftover food to feed their pigs, and farms that need the compost. These are you can find this information on PGAgreen.org as well. And there's companies like Real Green Media that I've mentioned before and Change the Picture that can help in all aspects and help you even find local charities, etc. But Eva has taught us how to do it, and that's really reach out there. She's got her finger on the pulse of the entire New York community, and they turn in at the end of the show their sofas, their couches, their props, wardrobe, anything that doesn't have to be saved for reshoots, and donates them. And Eva takes care of getting them picked up, or she arranges for the whole system to work. And we are hoping that we have something like that out here soon. But these are ways that you can make it easy for production. And like Habitat, where you just call them, say, come pick up our sets, come pick everything up. They will do it. They'll charge you for the gas and take it away. You save on manpower, you save on truck rentals, you save on gas, you save on dumpsters for that matter. And also I should mention, and not only filmbizrecycling.com, but there's Build It Green on the East Coast, material for the arts. There's a company called Housing Works, Rock and Wrap It Up. There's several different ways, but I want to just mention a landmark way, and that is on pgagreen.org we have something called Fred's List. It's our Craigslist for greenies, and it's where anyone can go and post at the end of your show anything that you want to recycle. On the last movie I did for Disney, I did Winnie the Pooh, a live-action segment. We didn't pay for flats. We got everything that was posted on Fred's List, and we got paint from Fred's List. We got all sorts of things that people were just saying, we're finishing our production. Anybody want to come and take it away? And in turn, when you're starting your production, go to Fred's List and look for, hopefully, things. There's chairs, tables, staplers, in and out boxes, things that people don't want to just throw away.
That's awesome.
And so between all of these sources, we could really make a difference. And it's up to us at pgagreen.org and also, of course, greenproductionguide.com to keep track of all those things for everyone, so it's really easy to find.
You know, Kathleen, you're very humble, and you're doing so many great things. But we have about 3.5 or 4 minutes left, and I do also want to talk with you about and share with our audience your other organization that you're involved with. You're the founding member of the Green Production Alliance. Can you explain what the Green Production Alliance is and how that interrelates with your PGA Green Committee's, duties, etc., and where the overlap is and where the exponential, synergies come from there?
Well, a Green Production Alliance actually started at that table for 12 that I mentioned 3 years ago, and it was production executives from the different studios and independent production companies that just joined forces. And so what we've done since the early days is open it up to include the environmental executives, and then we open it up to selected members of the entertainment community. So we touch on television as well as features right now. And what we're doing and what they're doing is offering critical support at a studio level. And when I say studio, I do mean production companies as well. So they've already put on a couple of fabulous seminars over at Sony, and they can also help you. I mean, people shouldn't hesitate to ask their environmental executives or their production executives whether or not they're part of the Green Production Alliance, and if they are, they should try and help you with the line budget items that you're for your environmental efforts. That's something that's important that I think needs to be put out there and requested whenever possible. But Green Production Alliance is really the overall umbrella of these dedicated physical production executives that really want to, again, make a difference.
And for our listeners also that haven't heard earlier, they can also see one of your other great products, Green Production Guide, at greenproductionguide.com. That's
right. And that is accessible also through pgagreen.org. And I just want to say quickly that, PGA Green members all share the hope and vision of a world where best practices become the standard that's supported by cast crew and the governments around the world. That's the mission statement I just made up, but that's our mission.
Right. There's a lot we're down to the last minute and a half or so, Kathleen, but there's a lot of young people out there and a lot of young ladies that want to become the next Kathleen Courtney. Where do you see your future going, and how do you share back with the generation behind you on how to now get involved with the green revolution and the sustainability movements?
Well, I think it all comes down to following your passion, and I found that this universe really provides when you open up to whatever your passion is. So knowing that it's a process, and knowing that that what we're doing is something that's going to come in stages. The hope is that next generation where they're going to be brought through this system, just knowing that environmentalism and sustainability just is. And so what I'm hoping for is in my personal endeavors, to research the holes, see where we need help, and see what other kind of business opportunities are out there. I mean, I'm in the process of exploring ways of combining the things I'm most passionate about, the films and the environment. And if I could work dog rescue into this plan, it'll be perfect.
Well, thank you so much. Mike and I are so honored and thankful for your time today, Kathleen. You're doing amazing work. You are truly an entertainment eco-star and a passionate leader and living proof that green is good.
Thank you.
This program will be available for downloading in a couple of days from our station's website, keyword podcast. Thanks for listening, and join us again next week at the same time for another edition of Green is Good.